Friends, someone once said it so wisely, a loud voice might get you heard by some, but words of substance and truth will be heard by many. Welcome, dear friends, to Buddhist Inspire. Today's story begins in a small, quiet village where a young man of 24 lived alone, carrying the heavy silence of an orphan's life. His parents had long passed, leaving him to navigate a world that felt cold and indifferent. He worked as a servant for a local merchant, and each day followed the same joyless rhythm. Work, earn, eat, sleep, a cycle that left his soul weary and his heart longing for something more. One afternoon, as he walked the dusty road back to his humble dwelling, his eyes fell upon a curious sight. An aged fakir, his face a map of wrinkles and wisdom, was struggling beneath the weight of 3 large cloth-wrapped bundles tied to a wooden yoke across his shoulders. The old man moved with slow, labored steps, pausing often to catch his breath. Moved by an unexpected pang of compassion, the young man watched as the fakir finally gave in to exhaustion and sank beneath the shade of a banyan tree. As the youth passed by, the fakir's tired eyes lifted. "Young man," he called out, his voice thin but clear, "could you spare an old soul some help? These bags are too heavy for my weary bones. If you could carry just one to the next village for me, I will reward you with 3 gold coins." The offer was generous. Gold coins could change his meager existence. Without much thought, the young man nodded. "Of course, Baba. It would be my honor to help." He hoisted one of the bags onto his own strong shoulder and immediately felt its surprising heft. What could be inside to weigh so much? He wondered. As they set off together, the road grew quieter, the chatter of the village fading behind them. Curiosity got the better of the youth. "Baba, if I may ask, what is in this bundle that makes it so heavy?" The fakir smiled gently. "Oh, just some copper coins, my son. Nothing of great value, but their number adds to the weight." Copper coins. The young man's mind began to whir. A fakir with a bag full of copper. Perhaps he is a traitor in disguise. He tucked the thought away and focused on the path ahead. Their journey soon brought them to the banks of a wide, gurgling river. The young man, strong and sure-footed, waded in without hesitation. The fakir, however, hesitated at the water's edge, anxiety etching his face. "Come, Baba, the water's not deep here," the youth encouraged. "I am old, my boy," the fakir replied, his voice tinged with fear. "The current is strong, and my balance is not what it was. With these 2 bundles, I fear I will fall." He paused, then made another offer. "If you would be so kind as to carry this second bag as well, I will give you 3 more gold coins for your trouble." The young man felt a surge of excitement. 6 gold coins just for carrying bags. He pretended humility. "Baba, please, you don't need to pay me more. I will help you regardless." But inside, he was already counting the coins. He took the second bag. It was even heavier than the first. As they crossed the river, he asked again, "And this one, Baba, what does it contain?" "Silver," the old man said simply. "Silver coins. That is why it is heavy. Copper in one, silver in the other." The pieces began to form a tantalizing puzzle in the young man's mind. This was no ordinary holy man. This was someone with wealth, traveling incognito. A spark of greed, tiny and almost unnoticed, flickered to life in his heart. The path beyond the river grew lonely and wild, cutting through a dense forest where shadows danced and the only sound was their own footsteps. It was here, in the solitude, that the spark grew into a flame. Tempting thoughts whispered to him. "He is old and slow. No one is around. You could take these bags and run. You could be rich. What does an old man need with such treasure anyway?" He wrestled with his conscience, ashamed of the thoughts but unable to silence them. Just as the internal struggle reached its peak, they began to climb a steep hill. The ascent was tough for the fakir. He stopped, panting. "My son, my knees, they fail me. This final climb is impossible with this last burden." He gestured to the 3rd bundle, the smallest but seemingly the densest. "Will you take this one as well? I promise you 3 more gold coins, but be very careful with it. Do not let it fall or open." "What is in this one that requires such care?" the young man asked, his voice barely a whisper. The fakir leaned close. "Gold," he confessed. "This bundle holds golden mohairs." The word gold was a key that unlocked the last restraint in the young man's mind. Greed now roared like a furnace, burning away all reason, all compassion, all honor. Visions of a life of luxury, a fine house, rich clothes, respectance before his eyes. The old fakir's need, his trust, became irrelevant. The only truth was the weight on his shoulders and the fortune it promised. As they crested the hill, the downward slope stretched before them. It was the moment he had been waiting for. With the fakir a few paces behind, the young man seized his chance. Clutching the 3 bundles tight, he broke into a frantic run, driven by fear and exhilarating greed. He did not look back. He ran until his lungs burned and his legs shook, not stopping until he stumbled through the door of his own hut. His chest heaved with exertion and wild triumph. He was rich. He barricaded the door and with trembling hands, tore open the first bundle.